Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. The Border-Gavaskar trophy is upon us, and in this video I'll be previewing the Perth Test match. So let's get into this video. Starting off with India, there's been some controversy around these selections going to this series. I feel two players should have definitely been selected, the first of those being Yash Dayal, the second being Sai Sudarshan. On Yash Dayal, I was disappointed that they didn't give him an opportunity in either the home series against Bangladesh and New Zealand. With the way he's been bowling in domestic cricket, especially for the India A side, I thought he deserved a call up to the national side and to play in this series. Unfortunately, he hasn't been included in the squad. And on Sai Sudarshan, I feel he's the most technically sound batsman in India as of now. He's been scoring centuries more often than not when he's walked out to bat. And I don't understand not picking him when he was a part of the India A series against Australia, which recently concluded. And from that, you've taken Devdutt Padikkal. He's done well for India. He's done well in domestic cricket of late. However, I feel with how long Sai Sudarshan has been doing well, even when he plays in the IPL, he scores for at least 500 runs or so. He's been going on the upward trajectory for a long period of time. I'm not saying Padikkal is a bad selection, but I'm saying when you've got someone like a Sai Sudarshan who's been knocking the door down wherever he's played, I would have selected him in the squad. Shubman Gill isn't available for the first test, and in my view, Sai Sudarshan, even if Gill were to be available, he would be a better fit at number 3 than Shubman Gill. But they've not gone with those two players, and I think they've missed a trick slightly there. On other selections, they've selected Nitish Kumar Reddy as that fast bowling all-rounder. And in my view, rather than Hardik Pandya playing the Bangladesh and South Africa T20I series, he should have been sent to play domestic cricket to see how especially his bowling fitness would play out in 5-day cricket, 4 or 5-day cricket. And I feel with the pedigree that he's got, once again, India, they've missed a trick with not even including him in the scheme of things. We're giving him a chance in red ball cricket in domestic matches to see how it would go. They picked Nitish Kumar to fill up as that fast bowling all-rounder, but I thought they should have tried Hardik Pandya before going to Nitish Kumar Reddy. Harshit Rana, a fairly inexperienced seamer, has done well in red ball cricket. Can he step up in this series? We don't know. I feel if you're selecting Harshit Rana, with all due respect, then I don't know how they have omitted Yash Dayal and Sai Sudarshan with how well they've done. I don't know how that would have happened, but they've selected this squad now. And there's a lot of talk going to this series about, will India get a drubbing? I don't think they will. In fact, I think they've got a very good chance of winning the series. If you're looking at the 11s of both sides, which I'll be sharing soon, the gap in skill levels or the difference in skill levels is nowhere near as much as people are making it out to be. So now I'll go on to my 11 for the Perth Test match from an Indian perspective. So my 11, a lot of people may not agree with, especially two calls. Opening the batting, I've gone with KL Rahul, Yashasvi Jaiswal. Number 3, Washington Sundar. Number 4, Virat Kohli. 5, Rishabh Pant. 6, Dhruv Jurel. 7, Jadeja. 8, Nitish Reddy. 9, Bumrah. 10, Siraj. 11, Akashdeep. Now the first of the two calls. KL Rahul's batting position has been tinkered with in recent times. And as an opener, he didn't go well in the match, the recent match that was played against Australia A. But if you're comparing him with the other players available in the squad in the absence of Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, you've only got Devdutt Padikkal who will compete. You got Easwaran as well, but Easwaran in the matches against India also didn't do much. So you've got Padikkal to compete with KL Rahul. Out of those two, who would I go with? KL Rahul is a proven player. We've seen what he's done in overseas tests, even though he hasn't been too consistent. And I feel he's got the ability to succeed when opening the batting. So I've gone with him to open with Jaiswal. Now, number 3. I think they will go with Padikkal over Washington. The reason why I've gone with Washington is because for long I've thought he is capable of batting number 4 in test matches and bowling a lot. We've seen what he did in the home series against New Zealand, where I thought is India's best performer in that series. He's got the ability to bat at least number 4 in test matches. And Padikkal would be a good option, yes. do you know whether either Padikkal or Washington Sundar will go 2-0 in this test match at number 3? You don't, which is the reason why if Padikkal doesn't go well, have you got anything else to get from him as a player in the match? No. Whereas Washington Sundar can be a second spinner for you. Since you don't know who's going to do much at number 3, I've gone with Washington to see how he does. And even if he doesn't score many runs, you've got that second spinner along with Jadeja. And I'll get to why I feel that spin option will be important in Perth. And it's not been a topic that's been talked about a lot. Only the seamers have been talked about, and I think that's part of the mind games that Australia are playing. I'll get to that in a bit. Number 4, Virat Kohli, 5, Rishabh Pant, 6, Jurel. I think with this 11, India will have 8 batting options with Jadeja at 7, Nitish Reddy at number 8. And you've got 6 bowling options where spinners, the sole spinner, will play a part in Perth. Where Nathan Lyon is the highest wicket taker, and that won't get talked about because the attention will always be on the seamers. If Jadeja doesn't go as well with a ball, where in recent times, has he been dictating terms with the ball as much when compared to the other spinners in the side? No, which is why if you've got Sundar and Jadeja, where if one of them doesn't go well, the other one can compensate. Then you've got 4 seam bowling options: Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, Nitish Reddy. I wouldn't mind if they play Ashwin. I think I've heard that he may play, most likely will play. If you play Ashwin, the only player who he can play ahead of is Nitish Reddy. Because Washington Sundar, you're not, in terms of bowling competition, can Jadeja and Washington compete with Ashwin? No. But if you're looking at the spots they're taking up, Washington is the number 3. Jadeja is a number 7, who averages 40 in the bat in the last 2 years. As batsmen, can you dislodge them and put Ashwin on the side when you really don't know how the batting is going to go? I don't feel you can. Ashwin, in terms of bowling, there's no comparison. Easily he'd play in the side at number 8. But if he does, and if you want to play instead of Nitish Reddy and you want to play Washington Padikkal instead of Washington Sundar, that would be an option. But apparently Nitish Reddy is going to play. That means you, in this side, you can't. They're kind of looking to drop Jadeja, which they should not do that. Jadeja's got to play with what he offers with the bat. You've got Sundar, who can play as a batsman and a bowler if he doesn't do too much of the bat. You've got 6 bowling options, 8 batting options. You've got greater assurance. I feel India should go with this combination, even if it comes at the cost of not playing a match winner like Ashwin. I feel they've got to go with this combination. Now, Prasidh Krishna versus Akashdeep. The reason why I've gone with Akashdeep is because in Australia, you need a mixture of bowlers who can contain the runs and a set of bowlers, a couple of bowlers who can attack. Now, Bumrah would be an attacking bowler and can contain runs. Siraj, an attacking bowler, can he contain runs? No. Prasidh Krishna can be an attacking bowler. Can he contain runs? No. So if Bumrah, let's say, if even one of those bowlers goes for a few and you don't know what Nitish Kumar Reddy is going to do, then there'll be a lot of pressure on Bumrah to keep things tight at one end, which is why Akashdeep can be an economical bowler, can hold a line, and you need that when the ball gets older in Australia for another bowler to attack. That's why I've gone for him to be that containing bowler, with Bumrah and Siraj being the attacking seeds. So if you're looking at this side, I'll go through the Australian side in a bit. I don't think there's too much of a gap in skill levels. If you're looking on paper, there's some inexperience at times in the Indian side, but I don't feel in terms of skill level that there's too much of a difference between this and the Australian side. And now for Australia, I won't be saying too much about them because apart from Nathan McSweeney and Cameron Green, every familiar face is there. They've only named 2 backups because you've got to keep a backup for Alex Carey, Josh Inglis, who I think is a fantastic player. And Josh Hazelwood has been injury prone at times where he missed the World Test Championship final in 2023 as well due to injury. And that's why, especially at that time, he was going through a lot of injury problems, which is why they've got Scott Boland who can be a backup for him in the side. Apart from that, I think McSweeney, they'll see how he goes for especially the first test matches. I don't think they'll make changes too soon on that. The other 10 players, if they're fit, regardless of how they perform, they will play. So I understand not naming too many backups. They'll go with McSweeney, Usman Khawaja, Labuschagne 3, Steve Smith 4, Travis Head 5, Mitchell Marsh 6, Alex Carey 7, Pat Cummins 8, Mitchell Starc 9, Nathan Lyon 10, and Josh Hazelwood at number 11. And I think the one precarious point as far as bowling is concerned for this team would be Mitchell Marsh has only bowled 4 overs since picking up the hamstring injury in IPL 2024. Pat Cummins recently said they haven't had to rely on the fifth bowlers as much because of how good the main four have been. But if Marsh isn't able to bowl, you've not got Cameron Green available either. Then the three seamers across a 5-test match series against, no matter what, this is still an Indian team, and I feel they have every capability to go on a roll with the bat. How will those three fare when bowling a lot of overs across a 5-test match series? We'll have to see. And this is where the skill level debate comes in, because this side has been called a settled side, which it is. All the familiar faces are there. But when comparing skill levels, I feel there isn't as much of a difference when on paper it does look like the Australian side, because of familiar names, is far more settled and maybe have the greater edge across this series. But I feel India have got every capability to counter that, because as I'll be saying, when comparing the 11s even for this match, I don't feel there's a huge difference in skill level. And so when comparing the openers, KL Rahul, Yashasvi Jaiswal versus Nathan McSweeney, Usman Khawaja. Now in Australia, the ball will move around for the first 15-20 overs, and which set of openers are going to be technically sound and whether the storm. The debutant McSweeney is someone who looks to take his time. Jaiswal is a flashy player who's seen what he does in India. In this case, in Australia, you've got to make sure you don't lose too many wickets in that 15 and 20 over stage. How will Jaiswal go? We don't know, even though he's a very talented player. KL Rahul and Usman Khawaja have got the technical soundness. KL Rahul's batting position has been tinkered with a bit, which is the reason why the returns have been fluctuating. Usman Khawaja has been opening for a long while, and I feel he's in good enough form in this for this series. So I'd say, because we don't know what Jaiswal is going to do in terms of, is he going to curb his attacking instincts to really stay in there, or is he just going to take the attack straight away? But I feel there's not too much of a difference in this opening combination, because you also don't know what McSweeney is going to do. So I think because of Usman Khawaja's form, the Australian one may slightly edge out the Indian one, but the Indian one is not bad by any means. Number 3, Marnus Labuschagne, and then Washington Sundar. Because of the pedigree that Labuschagne has, you think that he would take the edge. He's not been in great form in Test cricket in the past. Well, Washington Sundar is a very talented batsman as well. So even though on paper Labuschagne has the edge, I feel for Washington Sundar he's good enough to do well in the one-off game at number 3. Virat Kohli, Steve Smith. Virat Kohli hasn't been in great form in Test, especially on playing the subcontinent, but I feel against pace he'd fare much better. And Steve Smith will somehow adjust and score a decent amount of runs. So I feel both those two. I wouldn't really give an edge between those two, because both those two, they are huge names and they've got the quality to play well in these conditions. Rishabh Pant versus Travis Head. Rishabh Pant takes the edge. Mitchell Marsh versus Dhruv Jurel. Dhruv Jurel takes the edge. Jadeja versus Alex Carey. Jadeja does it. So the lower order batting India, I feel, have got the edge over Australia. And you're looking at the bowling. I feel the advantage that Australia have got is that they've got two bowlers in Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood who can. You've got Pat Cummins as an attacking bowler, but can also contain runs because of the way he bowls. Josh Hazlewood looks to hold the same line and can also be a containing bowler. Whereas for India, you've got Bumrah, who can be that attacking bowler and therefore contain. Siraj is an attacking bowler, but he's not going to be someone who will contain the runs. Prasidh Krishna on the bench is an attacking bowler. He's not going to be someone who's going to contain the runs. Akashdeep holds one end up, but apart from him, who's the bowler who you're really going to look to put pressure but also not give away too many runs? But looking to do that, it's only going to be Bumrah. So I feel that's the advantage that Australia have got. But even then, India have got Jadeja and Washington Sundar as spin options. I feel that's more than enough. Nathan Lyon's the highest wicket taker at this venue, so I feel he would take the edge purely because of the record he's got, and he does well in tracks which have a bit of bounce. So overall, you're looking at this team. I've said which department India have got an advantage in, which department Australia have got an advantage in, and there's not too much of a difference in skill levels. Purely on paper, I feel Australia have got the advantage in this series, but We've seen India, even with almost, I would say, a third choice team, they beat Australia in that fourth test match in the Gabba to take the series last time around. And I feel if you strategize correctly, this Australian team can be beaten at home. And if there's one team right now that is going to do that, it would be India. So Australia on paper have got the advantage, but I feel there is no need to panic as much as some people in the media are doing. And I feel India have got all the capability to win this series. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?